They won't strike you, they won't yell, and they won't tarnish your reputation in plain sight. Instead, they'll exhale a bit too heavily when you talk. They'll interrupt with a quip just as you're driving home a serious thought. They'll overlook you, dawdle in responding, or brush off your contribution with a grin that whispers, "You're insignificant." These aren't oversights, they're deliberate, razor-thin slights, calculated to chip away at your self-respect, subtle, piercing, and easily excused. Most people endure it, rationalize it, because it's not that severe, is it? But Machiavelli would argue this is precisely how authority crumbles, not through bold clashes but through countless unseen nicks. Once others realize they can get away with these minor dismissals, they'll push further. What starts as a fleeting smirk escalates into you becoming the jest, the afterthought, the lesser. Power games don't ignite with battles. They begin with inflection, glances, pauses. If you permit these 4 specific, understated acts of disrespect, each commonplace, each sly, you broadcast a deadly message. You can be dismissed without repercussions. The first act, the one people wield most swiftly yet disavow most vehemently, is the feigned confusion. You articulate something clear, sharp, deliberate, but they act as if it's incomprehensible. Not because they're dim, but because it forces you to restate, elaborate, clarify repeatedly until you seem rattled, uncertain, or desperate for their grasp. In Machiavelli's strategy, this is a masterstroke. It tilts the balance. They play innocent, puzzled, blameless, while subtly shifting the dynamic. Suddenly, you're laboring to secure their understanding, scrambling to keep their attention. If you let this pass, you're not being gracious, you're being maneuvered. Machiavelli would counsel, never explain beyond once. If they feign confusion after your first clarification, don't repeat. Assert your stance. Say, "I believe I was clear." If you're still unclear, perhaps this discussion doesn't matter to you as much as it does to me. Brief, composed, resolute. You seize control by framing their lack of engagement as the issue, not your delivery. Allow someone to not get it repeatedly, and they're not perplexed. They're training you to think your voice lacks weight. The second act cloaks itself in levity, the mocking jest. You share an idea or draw a line, and they respond with a snicker, a sarcastic, "Lighten up, it's just a joke." It's a barb dressed as humor, a public jab veiled as banter. The trap is cruel. Take it seriously and you're rigid. Ignore it, and it persists. Mimic it, and you're the aggressor. But Machiavelli played to win, not to placate. He'd see through the "just kidding" facade, a deliberate attempt to undermine your presence. Laugh it off or stay silent, and you're not preserving harmony. You're endorsing the erosion of your stature. Counter this with precision and edge. Lean in, face calm, and say, "Curious how some use humor to dodge saying what they really mean." Deliver it audibly, not with anger, but with unshakable clarity. It's a verbal blade slicing through their pretense, exposing the game to all. You signal you're not here to lose. The third act erodes respect quietly, often unnoticed until you're invisible. The deliberate delay. They take ages to reply to your messages but answer others instantly. They cancel plans at the last second, repeatedly. They arrive late or go silent until they need something. This isn't distraction or busyness, it's a calculated exploitation of your patience. Each time you accept it without adjustment, you teach them you're always available, even when they're not. Machiavelli knew time was a currency of power. Who waits, who adjusts, who gives time, and who takes it. These dynamics are never neutral. Mirror their investment with finesse. Don't beg for their attention. Withdraw yours without fanfare. Stop reaching out. Stop filling their silences. Stop bending your schedule. Let your absence resonate. If they value you, they'll notice. If not, you've spared yourself from those who diminish your worth. The fourth act, The most corrosive is the covert sabotage, the friend who cheers your aspirations but cautions against aiming too high, the coworker who praises your work, then whispers to others it needs refining, the partner who urges you to voice your thoughts, only to later say you came on too strong. It's not malice, it's sabotage wrapped in support, a perfect mask for envy. Machiavelli knew the peril of false allies who plant doubt while smiling. They don't need to oppose you. They make you doubt yourself, shrinking you without a fight. Test their loyalty strategically. Share a plan slightly bolder than your true intent, say 20% more ambitious. Watch their response. If they downplay it with concern, you've unmasked them. Then, limit their influence. Don't always confront, compartmentalize. Keep smiling, but stop sharing your dreams with those who'll weaponize them. You protect your narrative by controlling who shapes it. Authority isn't won with loud proclamations. It's forged in the quiet moments when others test your boundaries and find them unyielding. Tolerating subtle slights, without resistance, signals your limits are flexible. Machiavelli would call that a fatal flaw. True power lies in dictating the terms of how others engage with you. Consider someone who interrupts you in group settings, just enough to steal the spotlight as you gain traction. Most people stay silent, laugh it off, or try to outtalk them. Each choice cedes control. Machiavelli would shift the frame. Pause mid-interruption, look at them with calm reproach, and say, "Odd how you always cut in just as I'm making my point. Almost seems like you're worried about what I'll say next." No anger, no escalation, just a mirror held up for all to see. The dynamic flips, they're exposed, and you've reclaimed the stage without a shout, or take withholding recognition. You achieve something remarkable, and they offer nothing, no praise, no nod, no acknowledgement. This silence isn't accidental. It's a tactic to diminish your worth by ignoring it. Machiavelli would see this as a battle of morale. Don't chase their validation. Amplify your visibility. Weave your successes into conversations casually. That deal I closed last month, the one that hit record numbers, really showed me how to handle tight deadlines. You're not boasting. You're stating facts, ensuring your value is undeniable, bypassing their attempt to mute you. Then there's the collective slight, when a group subtly aligns against you. They chuckle too loudly at your mistakes, exchange glances when you speak, or share jokes that exclude you. It feels like paranoia at first, but that's the design, to make you doubt yourself. Machiavelli wouldn't react emotionally, he'd reframe the dynamic. If coworkers mock your idea, enter the next meeting with leverage. Since my last pitch didn't land, I tested it with an outside perspective. Turns out, competitors are already running with it. Funny how fresh eyes see what clicks miss. You've validated your idea, called out their groupthink, and shifted the power back to you. Commanding respect doesn't mean loud confrontations. It's about precision, making others wish they'd valued you from the start. Every interaction is a test. How far can they push before you push back? Your role isn't to be loved or feared, but untouchable. When someone jabs with a joke, let it hang in silence and hold their gaze. When they delay, withdraw your access. When they undermine, amplify your results. When disrespect becomes a habit, Machiavelli's rule applies. Better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But true power is respect earned without explanation. Notice the social microsignal Machiavelli would flag. Selective attention. They praise others loudly, engage with them warmly, but when you speak, they check their phone. When you enter, they nod without connecting. When you share something noteworthy, they stay silent while celebrating others. This isn't carelessness, it's a deliberate act to marginalize you socially. They want you to notice they're ignoring you. Counter it not by demanding attention, but by making your presence undeniable. Build external validation. Let others amplify your work through impact, not boasts. When your worth becomes fact, their silence exposes their envy, not your weakness. Then there's the false praise, when they laud you for traits that keep you small. You're so laid back, always drama-free. It's not admiration, it's a leash. They're saying stay compliant, stay quiet. Step out of that role, assert yourself, and they'll withdraw their support, calling you different or difficult. Machiavelli would reject their script. If they say, "You're so chill," respond, "Not always." I've learned when to draw lines. You redefine yourself, breaking their mold. Ultimately, true authority isn't built on noise, but on consequence. You don't react to every slight. You make others feel the weight of losing your presence. When they test you with shade, delays, or sabotage, respond with quiet precision. Reduce their access. Recalibrate their influence. Those who respect you won't need reminders of your value. Those who test it deserve to learn their mistake. Power doesn't shout. It watches. It adjusts. It enforces. To command a room before speaking, let your silence speak louder than their chatter. When interrupted, finish your point as if they never spoke, dismissing their relevance. When they slight you, don't flinch. Study, then act with measured force. Over time, they'll stop testing. They'll hesitate before crossing you, not from fear of punishment, but from anticipation of your response. That's your shield. You become untouchable by never letting the small slights slide, by making others weigh their actions in your presence. Because disrespect starts small, a pause, a smirk, a silence, but how you respond sets the precedent. Machiavelli knew this. Let the smallest breach go, and you invite the largest betrayal. So enforce your worth, not with volume, but with inevitability.